came out, and I thought, I'll go see a movie there, and I'll go see Transformers. You know, it's got the Epic Theaters, like you got the stadium seating, the surround sound, the whole deal.
Hi there.
Dun, dun, dun.
The Beatles are coming.
Are you here for the 240? All right. Thank you both for coming. Thank you both for coming. I'm always thrilled to see both of y'all.
The Beatles are coming.
This is good. To have TV on TV.
TV on TV is like within.
Is what it's all about. Go make a video of the video camera.
Should.
Make a video of the video camera. Look at the camera with your camera.
Really
no, take your camera and look at my camera.
It's going to come out. Go there and say like.
Right on. Where's it at?
It's down in Hendersonville.
Well, let's sit there.
Off the main drag, Four Seasons Boulevard.
Okay.
Just
there we have it.
Off to the right.
Please don't do it.
All right.
Please don't.
I love the Beatles T-shirt. You know.
Here comes the Beatles.
If it wasn't for the Beatles, none of us would be here.
Is that true? Where would we be?
Where would we be?
No, that's the co-host.
I hate that thing.
He loves that. He has a special relationship
yes, I
with
do
it.
have a special relationship with that thing. You don't want to know what I do.
Okay, now. Oh, wait a minute. It's back. It's back. It's the chicken bunny.
I'm gonna let him walk off.
It's a religious item.
It's sacred.
Sacred item.
Somebody's tape is on the floor.
Okay, now.
Where would we be? I think we'd all be in Memphis, selling pharmaceuticals and trying to rebuild the Stax recording studio.
I got you. I see. We would be locked in the age of Elvis and.
There would be no digital anything, and we'd have to make up all our new synthesized music. And
there'd be no Moog.
Bob, Mr. Moog would still be here.
Would still be here.
He'd still be here because he's still building his first keyboard.
All right.
Yeah.
So, if the Beatles didn't happen, nothing.
Time would have.
There wouldn't have been
almost,
the Monkees. There wouldn't have been any Bobby Sherman to buy the first used synthesizer.
There would have been Bob Dylan.
There would always have been Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
But when Bob got to Rhode Island, I remember that. That was when he went electric.
There was a Bob Dylan.
Bob would have gone electric.
There was a Bob Dylan Beatles kind of thing. What with the guys from the Byrds and all that kind of stuff.
There was a semi-jam session.
Yeah, and they were getting each other high and stuff for the first time. There was a lot of that going on. Apparently they were like woo, this is good.
They were all trying to come out with the same sound at the same time. And they all had their own versions. Everybody had their own. That's like saying that Sgt. Pepper came out with Pet Sounds.
I wouldn't say that.
But Paul said it.
Yeah, I guess we did. I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
Yeah. I took the week off.
That sounded pretty good. What was that guy's name? Charlie something.
Charlie, Trapper Keeper.
That's not real.
And you? Let us make you talk. Yeah. Go ahead.
Give a plug.
I'm having life while rendering, actually life while transferring. So we figured we'd stop up and see what you're doing.
Transferring
lots of files. One place to the next.
Video files.
Okay. Ours is too big for that.
Oh,
yeah. Way.
2 gig.
You have
2 gig. We got 400 something gig
now.
going at the same time.
Okay.
Do they make 8 gig now? Darn it. They're like that, yeah.
So what's going on?
There goes my thought.
What was
super
yours?
Cool.
4 gig.
Mine's 4.
Oh, you were so cool for a moment.
Right. It was 8 giggers.
Oh, it's shape static.
It's worried about that.
Back yourself, let you give it a listen. This is what's going out on the air.
At check-in, customers.
Okay. Set him on fire. Okay. Yeah. Now we're talking. Let him stay on fire and see how long he can keep dancing. Right, and then somebody goes like, hit it again. What do you think about that? Where'd you get this?
It was a gift.
I'll have one of those things
from
trash.
Owl, my friend Owl.
You should see if Owl could get another one, and then we could set it on fire. And see how long
you have to get your own to set it on fire.
See how long it'll dance for.
You want to
we could start a fund.
You want to set a religious icon on fire?
Is that what that is?
That's right.
Oh man, I didn't. I was gonna say I have a 1-800 number where people could call in.
All right.
But I forgot what it. I don't have what it is.
You forgot it.
I forgot my phone at home.
1-800 Chicken Buddy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Let's do that again.
So where are you transferring files here on one of these? I know you got this running at home.
Yeah.
And you're putting it on an external hard drive or something?
Backing up.
Trying to get our act together.
Dual layer in it.
Yeah. Tell me what you think of this tea, of this particular brew. What have you?
Smoky.
Good.
It is good.
What do you think about Paul McCartney's new CD?
It was great when I went to Starbucks in South Carolina to hear it for the first time live.
Uh-huh.
Paul, nobody plays it now.
No.
I'm
Actually,
sorry, Paul. He's
Liza
watching.
Lynn's outsold.
Is Paul watching today?
Paul is everywhere.
Is that why you wore your shirt?
Well, not
He's-
really. It's just feels like a free
he's a big-
advertisement.
I was thinking about y'all
He's a
the other
big
day. I'm so
deal.
glad y'all came.
We watch you
today.
every day. Well, I try to watch you when I can. It's almost every day.
I,
Not always with it.
you guys should have a little call-in number. I'd call more often.
Do you have my number?
Yeah, I think I do.
You can call me if you like.
Okay.
I don't like to give it out over the air because we're not really doing.
That's what
I'm not really doing a call-in show, but I don't mind if a friend calls me while I'm on the air.
But yeah, we did that for a hot minute and it was a nightmare with different people calling.
Yeah.
Right.
There's certain things that go around and around in my head. When you become neurotic or psychotic or something, you get stuck. There's these different loops of things that go around in your head. And I was thinking about y'all recently.
In a neurotic loop?
No, maybe any loop might be some neurotic loop, but probably. What do you think? But then I also thought about Don Yelton telling me, who's told me that his wife said that my show was about as exciting as watching paint dry, and then I got to thinking about it, and so I told him, she must just only watch it when you're on.
But
She probably only watches it when he's on.
But you get high on paint, so that's not that bad.
We're gonna do a paint dry show soon, at least by the 1st of next month,
Yes.
right?
I'd like a copy of that.
Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna watch paint dry.
I want a copy. What was that gentleman saying the other day about it took an hour for somebody to sign a signature? I want a copy of that too. Or no, they were figuring out some type of form of documentation somewhere in something.
Oh, here comes somebody else.
Come in if you like.
That was yesterday.
Whatever.
No, I'm just
And
So we were in a neurotic loop of yours about paint drying. Some relationship to paint drying.
Did you tape a recorder to your head so we can see this?
Someone told me, was it Jonathan or somebody told me that I think that they were over at your house, and when the Colors episode reran.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Was it Jonathan? Did he watch
or Kurt?
Yeah.
Kurt must have
Both of them
watched. Okay, somebody told me they were over and they watched the Colors episode.
Right. Yeah. That I know. We were watching. You were there, right?
I was there.
We
you
were all there. And we're watching it, and then I was like, well, the idea is not to watch the episodes, like to watch something else.
Ambient.
Right.
Yeah. So Kurt immediately figured out what I said, and he turned his chair around, and then he just sat there and went.
All right. Right, and if you got one of those lamps that's got different things that branch off of it, and if it is between the TV and the wall where its shadows kind of run down the wall or something like that, it all that is something. Yeah. All that.
We've got some interesting episode coming up tomorrow night. It's two people. It's VJ Welkin and Hula Massive.
You know Hula?
Oh yeah.
Doing
Yeah. Right.
I don't know, their performances, the like feedback on itself.
Yeah, does she still have the
hula hooping?
Hula hoop, the lights and all that?
Yeah, and
cool.
then he's recording it at the same time he's throwing up different visuals and playing it back at the same time.
Right.
So there's like a shadow of the feedback that's feeding back, and it's really hard to keep up with, but it's pretty cool.
What time will that be?
11:30 tomorrow night. Wallpaper.
Plug.
Wallpaper plug.
Okay.
Plug. Hi, Jen.
Right. And Jen told me that the guys from Chapel Hill, she recently went to one of these conferences for community media centers and stuff like that. She went out of town somewhere to one of these conferences, and the guys from the Chapel Hill public access were down there, and they got to talking, and she said that they have requested Anarchy TV.
And Mount Dungeon.
And Mount Dungeon.
Yes.
Yeah. And so
double whammy.
So we're gonna be sending our things down to Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
And we're going to Bloomington, Indiana too.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah, very good.
Mount Dungeon is expanding.
I saw the marquee. That was cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
Cool.
So we have fun with all that.
And I'm about to take off. I helped you out for the first hour.
Thank you very much, as always.
And Mount Dungeon, Asheville's underground music television show,
tonight.
11 p.m. Tonight. Watch it.
For the rerun, actually first run when it ought to be of
Nevada.
The Nevada show. And Nevada is a psychedelic band. They're a great band. They really
super great band. And this is one of the best episodes. I watched it recently. Here it is. And so this is going to be one of the band's copy. I'm going to give it to them. But come out to Asheville Pizza tonight, 11 p.m. We're all going to be there. The Stars are going to be there. Nevada, possibly Jack Jones, English metal blues band. So
say it again.
English metal blues band, Jack Jones.
So come out to the. Tell them again.
Come out to the Asheville Pizza
tonight.
11 p.m.
Tonight.
Nevada will be there. We're all going to be in the game room. Nevada will be there. The game room.
Rub elbows with the Stars.
That's right. Jack Jones, English metal blues band will be there. So they have the English accent. They're funny, really funny.
Nice.
Yeah. They
Monty Pythonish.
Dry humor.
They were talking about. They had one guy was talking about. He just got off the boat, and he said he went to a bar and asked for a wife beater. And the guy was like, "A wife beater? What are you talking about?" You know, and he's like, "A wife beater." You know, and he's talking about a particular type drink, and they had, and he saw the bottle there, and he said they call it wife beater there, and it's like. And then the guy said, "Oh, you mean that kind of beer?" And he said, "Yeah." What does that mean? It's like, and he told him it's like this kind of. "Oh, you mean a jumper?" They called him a jumper, but anyway. So anyway, see you later.
All right. Good enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Now tomorrow we're going to have I'm told. You know, I never know a thing until it happens, who's going to show up, but we're supposed to have a couple of members of a band called Rickshaw 500, and a guy with a bookstore and a poet coming up from New Orleans who's supposed to be a very famous poet who will come up and read some of his stuff, maybe internationally famous poet. On the Tea Party tomorrow. Right. Hopefully, all this will transpire.
Very good.
Yeah. And what is your episode coming on tonight now? It's video feedback tomorrow night. Video feedback,
release.
Weird stuff.
It's release. Yeah,
release.
It was taped up at Jolly Rouge. I believe it was New Year's, was it?
New Year's.
It was New Year's.
Actually, it was the 31st and then New Year's.
Right. Yeah, which we got 2 episodes out of. You've got 1.
Actually, we can make a few more out of that because we recorded all
We've got
night
a lot
long.
of stuff.
Yeah. We actually got the first ozone receiver out of that, their fireworks show. And
now, have you seen that one, the ozone receiver?
No, because I don't have
cable.
No, well, first my electricity was cut off. Okay, and after the electricity had been cut off for about a month, the guy actually came and knocked on the door and wanted me to pay for the cable, or he said he would turn it off, and I said, "Turn it off." And he goes, whoa, we can wait, and I was like, turn it off. I haven't been able to watch it for a month. Oh, no. Turn it off. So the cable's gone too. So I've not caught up. It was shortly after the Colors episode, so I've not seen much since then.
Yeah, it was on receiver. When was that? That was earlier.
Actually, that was
it
before.
Yeah,
I don't remember
like in March or something.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. What did it look like?
It's fireworks and
tweaked
out fireworks and crazy
scary audio.
It's the scariest show I think we've ever put out. I want to call it eerie. It's not scary. It doesn't scare you. It didn't scare me.
No,
I saw something.
It made me
actually
weird.
That's the one.
I saw something with some fireworks.
I got eerie.
But
there's fireworks tomorrow night too, if you like fireworks.
Okay, I saw something with fireworks, and I don't know. But so maybe it was that, and I didn't know it. But I don't remember. I don't recall seeing one of your shows with fireworks. So.
Actually, the first time that played,
I
got feedback from a lady. She was really outraged. She was all by herself at her home.
It scared her. She
turned it way up because she was apparently a good follower of ours, and she turned up the volume really loud. She loved the video, and then she heard the audio, and it scared her so much. She waited till after the episode was over. She shut her TV off, got in her car, and went down to Denny's and stayed there all night long until the sun came up so she could come home. She was so scared of the audio.
Well, what was the audio?
It was just
people
cheering backwards, really deep and elongated. It was one some girls.
It's one of the scariest. It's one of
really it was.
You know how they when you're stretching it up, it starts going.
Exactly. And we had some ladies out there that they were going. And when you heard that slow and then backwards, it was it was just. And it was all the stuff that went on with it, the traffic, and it was just a little too much to take. Right. I couldn't edit it during the night.
So he was recording the real fireworks that same night, which already aired, and then the what I was recording that night is about to air, which is the VJ Welkin, who was playing fireworks inside for the people that didn't want to go outside. They was playing his own fireworks. So.
All down at the Jolly Rouge.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
And we also have a show sooner or later.
The Pirate Bar.
Pirate Bar. Right. We also have an artist that does laser. How would you call it? Laser projection. Bowie Van Ling.
Bowie.
And the guy's a whiz with, it was actually a happening that we were at, 4th of July.
For another fireworks. Lots of explosions with us lately.
He was projecting off the Wachovia building.
The side of Wachovia by Pitcher Park.
Okay.
Yeah. And we made an episode out of that, a whole episode.
Yes.
So that was pretty good.
I used to work with a laser show that was the gig actually was at the Miami Space Transit Planetarium down in Miami, and it was Illumina light show, but they had a live band that was a band called Music of the Spheres that had a couple of members were actually astronomers and stuff in that band, and so we put on a live show in the planetarium, and the show opened. You were in the center. The Stonehenge was projected around you, and you were in the center of Stonehenge at the opening of the show. And the Star Machine was set to a specific date 2,000 years ago, and or was it 4,000? Whatever, some way ancient date. And then the show progressed in time. And we did actually what were illegal moves with the Star Machine. There are certain things that you do with the Star Machine that if you do a certain pitch and a certain roll at a certain speed, it can be so disorienting that it'll cause people to fall over if they happen to be walking down the aisle and stuff like that. But in order for us to get from date to date to date to date to bring it all up through, I think it was 4,000 years, to get it up through 4,000 years. Or how old is Stonehenge?
That sounds right.
Okay, whatever. whatever. In order to get it up through the time period we needed to get it up through, we had to slam it into overdrive, and do some of this stuff, which was, and the whole time a live rock and roll band is going, and for each period in history as we moved up, the band had a song to do with that, and then until we hit the present, and then right into the future, and the show ended depicting the Pleiadian contact, and it was great. It was a great show. Yeah. And we did this all to you in 2 hours time,
Nice.
but it was Carlisle Osterberg and his very powerful laser, and with all this stuff going on, the laser was always part of it.
That's very cool. Yeah. Who is it that would control the regulations on the intensity of the laser? Is that the
Okay,
FCC?
that depends on if you're going to do audience scan or not. Okay, I saw the Who's first laser show. Have you heard of the Who's laser show? Do you know the laser?
That they played all the
Who's laser tour.
I've seen Pink Floyd's laser show.
I did too. But I saw the Who laser tour, which was the big laser tour that had audience scan. And then after that, it must have been for 10 years, there was nobody allowed to do audience scan after that. It was impressive. And
what's the audience scan? Does that mean just lasers going through the audience?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and there's very few people licensed for an audience scan.
That's what I was bringing that up because at this past year at Bonnaroo in Manchester, Tennessee, I heard rumor from a friend of mine that said they weren't going to let whoever it was, FCC, whatever, wasn't going to allow Tool to go on because their laser was too intense that if you shined it in somebody's eye, they'd immediately go blind or something like that.
Right. I think that happened to several people on the Who tour, but I understand that nobody complained. That it was
nobody complained about going
I'm blind in my left eye, but the last thing I saw before it's totally worth it, dude. you would have to be. Let me tell you the story of the Who's laser show. I had gone to see the Who, not knowing anything about lasers. Their lasers had shown up in their videos, but I did not know the lasers were touring with them. They had these big, high power physics lasers that were on gurneys that rolled, that were beds that had wheels on them, but they also had all kinds of levers and pulleys and things and all for meticulous adjustments and all that for height and everything. Okay, and anyway, so they had these things there. So we're sitting there, we're watching the show, and with the lights still on in the place, they turned on one laser beam, and it shot straight up from behind in the middle of the stage behind the band. One shot was one laser pointing straight up. That's all. They turned on one laser, and it was the beam on that thing was so powerful that everybody in the entire room inhaled at once. And this laser comes on like that, and you hear the entire room inhales at once, and then it's everybody is whoa, just off of just turning on one laser. It was impressive. Okay,
right.
All right. Then in just a minute, they turned on two more lasers. Okay, and I don't remember if the first one. I'm going to say the first one was a blue-green laser. It was a blue-green laser, I believe. They had two kinds. They had blue-greens and they had reds. And so they turned on, I think, one blue-green, and it shot up, and everybody just freaked. And then, as soon as everybody sort of caught themselves again and had gotten over saying, "Wow, isn't that cool?" Then boom, two more red ones came on either side of it, up like that, and everybody did it again. Oh, I've got red ones too, And then on either side of that, boom, blue-greens, like that, and everybody was like, wow, because these lasers were impressive. Then the beams split, and they went doom, 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 out like that.
Right.
And so all of the beams were like
Fanning.
fanned. They fanned all the beams and they crisscrossed everything, you know, and there's blue, greens, and reds crisscrossed all across the back of the stage, and everybody was, wow, you know. And then they fanned them out, doom, 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 like that. So they were crisscrossed and doom, 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 fanned out like that until they came right by your head like that, and they looked like you could reach out and hold on to them. They were and they had quadranted off the entire space of the auditorium, or the Coliseum was divided off like grids on graph paper from lasers and crisscrossed, and all. They were everywhere, and everybody was just like, whoa, you know.
That sounds great.
It was, and just doing that was such an awesome show.
What year was that they did that?
I'm going to say it was 70s. I'll say it was in the 70s.
Mid-70s maybe? Or
in the 70s,
well,
I would say.
Late 70s?
Well, you figure Paul.
Well, it was mid 80s until anybody got to license for audience scan again. Was mid 80s for the lowest power audience scan licenses. So I'm gonna say it was about 10 years, mid 70s.
Probably about 74, 75,
I would
76,
guess
because that's when Wings of America was, and they had the biggest light show at the time.
I saw Paul McCartney and Wings at the Omni in Atlanta. I can tell the story of that show. You want to hear the story of that show?
Yes.
I went to all the rock and roll shows, and I used to work in a big rock and roll club in Miami called the Image, and we opened the Image with Frank Zappa and the original Mothers of Invention. Who I used to, as a teenager, I used to bum cigarettes off Frank Zappa, and then
Wait! Did you get to hear him play that? What's the What's the TV song that they played? God, dude, it's my favorite song. Oh my God!
I don't know. And then we had Led Zeppelin on their first American tour, did like 4 shows for us, and da-da-da-da-da.
I need that. Do you have that song, old Frank Zappa stuff?
Oh, I don't have any of that stuff. But anyway. So I went to see Paul McCartney and I went to see Paul McCartney and Wings at the Omni in Atlanta, and they started out, you know, with the full band and all, and they played some stuff, and then they did their acoustic set. Okay, and they put bar stools out in a semicircle. And they played a song, and at the end of the song, one person at the end got up and picked up their stool and their guitar, and they walked off the stage, and they did another song, and someone from the other end, you know, picked up their stool and their instrument and walked off the stage, and then they did another song, and then the person on the end took their stool and walked off the stage, and they did that until it got down to there was only Paul McCartney sitting in the middle of the stage with an acoustic guitar, and he did Yesterday. and brought the house down solo. But he had used the energy of you know, like of an hour, well, half hour's worth of energy or so to focus it all on him for that, and sat there under a single spotlight and did Yesterday solo, and I mean the whole house lost it.
So what about the lasers?
Oh, they live and let die.
Lasers. We would be able to see, I was an extra in 2 of his movies.
Oh, right.
And when it came time for Live and Let Die, it was pouring outside and pouring, but the clouds were hovering, and they were able to burn the clouds. They were able to burn the clouds. Yeah.
And opened up a hole so they could stop the rain.
Yeah, and it
lasers.
did. And it did. I mean, those. I don't think it's actually because it's powerful, but they were able to focus all their lasers in that whole show into that one area, and they were able to stop those clouds from drowning us.
Well, that was handy, wasn't it?
That was great.
Yeah.
See, I remember the Division Bell thing where they came around, and I thought Pink Floyd, and I think this is probably a lower power laser, but they were projecting on clouds that were above. I saw them in Cleveland. They were doing that, and some in Columbus too, but I don't think they were doing it as much as in
vector
Columbus.
graphics.
Yeah, they were doing vector graphic plots up on the nearest cloud layer.
Yeah.
But you could see it pretty. I mean, you might have to squint because it was kind of, you know, I think they were using red lasers.
Yeah.
But
Well, Carlisle had a laser. He'd gotten a deal on a powerful laser down in Florida. He picked it up for just a fraction of its value, and it was a powerful laser. And we always operated it run at a lower temperature, temperature. And I'm looking at the circuit board. I think it is connected to your backpack down there. Anyway.
You like that?
Yeah, I do. So the
decorations.
It looks nice. Let's see.
I got two of them.
Well, let's see what this one is. Okay.
Little keychains. I don't know what they came.
You bought them already like that?
Yeah. Can you tell what they came
out
of?
Well, this is just a piece. Let's see what the other one is.
This one's the better of the two. I just like
this
the pattern.
This is a nice one.
Isn't the pattern cool on it?
That's cool.
That gold.
We like that. Yeah.
Those were originally like $8.
That's the one I was.
$8 in the store for a keychain.
That was the one I was looking at.
And then they gave them to me for like $2 or something.
Yeah, it's a good one though, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's like it slid into something.
Yeah. So I forgot what I was talking about.
Pio.
Does it matter?
Lasers.
Oh, it's starting to break.
Oh, so Carlisle got this laser, and one time Carlisle went in there one night and turned it on. He liked to go in late at night and just turn it on and play with the lasers all night, And one night he turned the laser on and he forgot to turn on the water. They're water cooled, and you run water through it and it runs through a filter and it runs through the laser and it just drains out and it just. But you water cool the lasers just off of the city water supply. And one night he forgot to turn the water on, and the laser started getting pretty hot, and he heard it go tink, and that scared him. Well, he turned it off. Immediately, as soon as he realized what he had done and overheated the laser, he turned it off, and he didn't turn the water on or anything. It didn't destroy the laser, and then he came back in the next day and turned it on. The laser came on and worked just fine. But it worked just fine, but we always ran it at a fraction of its power. We never turned it up to its full power. And then a few weeks after that, the warranty on the laser was about to run out. And so Carlisle says, we need to come in tonight and run the laser up to its full power and run it through its paces before the warranty runs out and see if there's been any damage done to it or anything. So we went in and we turned the laser on, and Carlisle cranked the power to its maximum. But he forgot to be. We weren't doing a laser show, and in this case, he forgot to. He wasn't scanning the thing or anything. So we popped a hole through the dome of the and nobody knew this. And if you know who's the guy who does Star Hustler, you know who I'm talking about. He comes. It's like. He's on public TV all the time, and he goes, I can't say his name anyway. Anyway, he's the director of the Miami Space Transit Planetarium, and he doesn't even know that we did this, but we popped a hole. It's just a little hole, but it went all the way through, and it must have looked really cool if you could have been outside and you see the dome, and then you see the laser beam coming out the dome. Must have looked really cool, but we didn't get to see that. And so we're standing there, and all of a sudden Carlisle realizes now he's turned the water on, etc., but he's forgotten to scan the laser. He's turned it up to full power, and we've popped a little hole through the dome of the planetarium. So we had to go up and we were patching it with spillwads and things. Patching the hole.
How small did the hole
get? It was just a little bit.
A little pinhole?
Yeah, just not bigger than a pinhole, but smaller than a pencil. Okay. Yeah, it was a little small.
That's fine.
We popped a little hole through the dome of the, and it was concrete and stuff, and it was right through like nothing. But it was on full power and not moving.
Fun stuff, those lasers. Fun stuff, those lasers.
Oh,
they make them the little handheld ones where they got the little shapes in them and faces and stuff.
I know.
Where you can just
think of this. They got them at the dollar store.
Yeah,
they got them at the dollar store for $1.
That's a little plate of glass in there with a certain reflective pattern that makes it form.
They got something. I don't know. Anyway,
they got the tips. I'll bring in the tips. I don't have the laser.
I know, but look at they're $1 a piece. Right. So for $10, you could get 10 of those, right? And a roll of duct tape. and you could turn on all 10 lasers, and you could tape them to your fingers, right? And you could have 10 lasers. What kind of laser show could you give with 10 lasers on the end of your fingers? You know, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
You could have little faces on certain ones. You could have them talk to each other.
I know. And
laser puppets.
Think of it. I mean, that is a $10 technological miracle, isn't it? Right there.
$10.
Tell me about it. I mean, you know.
So we tried to figure out, we were having a party out in the woods, and we were like, well, if we could just tape one laser to a tree, just leave it on all night, and then on each adjacent tree we were using, I cut up some really, I don't know what I want to call it, but I want to say like high quality or like machine based mirrors, and I chopped them up with a glass cutter, and I said, you know, if we could position these and tape all these mirrors to the trees, then we could just light the whole woods that we're going to party in with one laser, and it would just crisscross the whole night, you know.
Right, you want front surface mirrors.
It didn't bounce. It didn't bounce off of any of the mirrors. I was using the wrong type of mirror.
Okay, you have to use front surface mirrors. That's what they're called, front surface mirrors. They're very delicate too, and you don't want to touch them with your hand.
And you can crack. They're like wafers, right?
Generally, they are, and there's the ones that are any front surface mirror will work for it. But the little thin ones and stuff, you want them to be low mass, because they put them on little actuators that move them and stuff like that. And the lower the mass, the better frequency response they can get out of that. You know.
Where would I get some used mirrors that I could do that with?
Oh.
Man, because we could.
Oh, out of old cash register things and all, the scanners and all, they all use those little mirrors. Now they don't have to be the little thin ones. They just have to be front surface.
What about photocopy machines? That's the same.
Photocopy machines, I believe, use front surface mirrors. But now they may be dirty. They get dirty. But
Scratched and stuff.
But I believe they use front surface mirrors. And yeah.
We couldn't figure out what was the problem, whether it was the mirror or the laser and how.
But understand the cheap lasers spread, and they don't. So they only have a distance of like 100 feet or something. Until they spread.
As it goes, you'll need an amplifier type thing to keep it going. Because like it reflects.
Well, you may as well get another $1 laser. You know what I mean?
Right. I was just trying to figure out where would I get a cheap laser? Just better than the dollar store laser.
Oh.
Like a $10 laser. Can I get a $10 laser somewhere?
I think they jump up.
I'd be willing to pay $10 for a single laser.
I think they jump up to about 150 real quick.
So it's either $1 or 150.
Well, no, there's some other ones, but they're still laser pins. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what have you.
Well, this Bowie Van Ling, he had
they got green ones
he had a whopping green one.
Was it bright?
Oh, it was heavy as heck and bright as heck, and it was like that wide.
He shot it across the street.
From what? So 50 feet away, maybe 75 up. 50, 75
probably
up.
75 feet.
And it was like this big on the wall. It was big, and the pen was heavy. And it was bright.
But you don't want it big. You want it to stay small.
I know, but he was doing it for the effect of creating text on the wall. That's a cool project. You gotta check that out. When is that coming?
I'm always into having some good lasers. Are we going to start getting some good lasers together?
I hope so.
I used to work with the laser show, so I know some of the laser tricks. If you get, and my problem right now is I don't have powerful lasers. I have wimpy little dollar store lasers, because that's the budget I'm on. You know, that's
every time I get a dollar store laser, you know, at the end of the weekend, I've lost it.
Yeah, but they're really good cat toys.
Yes. I bought one for my mom for Christmas or something.
Would she chase it?
Something chased it. Something chased it. She's got a lot of animals. Yeah, I don't think it was a cat.
But your mom didn't chase it?
My mom didn't chase it.
Okay. I know people who get them for their cats.
Well, they just sit around. You know, she's out in the middle of 33-acre farm or something, and they say, see that thing down there? That's what they do. They sit on there. See that thing?
They sit on the porch and
like,
shine it down to the barn.
Just shoot the damn thing down the thing, and you'll see exactly where you're talking about, and everybody else can follow it.
It works.
And
I know.
They don't use it.
I do that.
I'm doing that all the time.
Yeah.
Like that thing over there.
Yeah, get us one of those green ones. Find out where you can get it. There's Edmund Scientific and stuff. You can just go online and you can write laser beam in the Google slot, and there'll
How
be
about beaming lasers.
And you can get 486,000 laser things.
I want a beaming laser.
Mm-hmm.
What are those little things in the Pink Floyd that did the where it goes?
It's a prism.
Prism.
Uh-huh.
Can we play with one of those?
Yeah.
You can get those in here.
Okay, so will the side... I saw a guy who had an installation in his house that was... He had like a projector mounted, like a movie.
My friend Randy used to run
used
to be in charge of the pig for Pink Floyd.
Really?
The big blow up pig. He's the guy who ran the pig out and stuff. That was his job. Yeah. Talk about having a cool job. I mean, how does that look on the resume? I ran the pig.
What's better, the pig or the lasers?
The pig.
Definitely the pig.
Oh,
the pig shoots fire.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It was a big responsibility, the pig.
Yeah. But do they reflect off the back of CDs? Because my friend
I'm sure they do.
Because if you just shine a high focus light at the back of the CD, you get really
colors.
cool. Mm-hmm. Is that, what is it?
Well,
that's not like a prism, that's refraction?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the
It's the same
prism
thing.
do?
It's the same thing.
Larry? What's a prism do?
Prism separates the color spectrum.
Yeah, refracts it.
What's the back of the CD do?
It's the same thing.
It does the same thing.
Same thing. But you get CDs without any banding on it, and you get a pure plate.
What's better? What color are the CDs? Because they make the black ones, I bet you would be good.
No, they would be
that's
bad.
absence of color.
The black ones would suck up all the color. They wouldn't.
Anything you shot in it?
I think. Well, no, they would look. They would.
I thought black would be like more like graphite, more like glass.
Black lets the UV through. We see it as black, but it's transparent to ultraviolet. I mean, not the ultraviolet, infrared.
So we need night vision.
Yeah, it's that's why the black ones work.
I drank too much tea.
Tea does that to you?
Let's hope so. Have you had any of this yet?
I've had them both.
What's the difference? Which one's rock?
They are both that right there.
Tasty.
Mm-hmm. Wu Yi Star from Wu Yi Mountain in China.
Wu Yi Star.
Yeah. Right. Nice tea, huh?
Very good.
Yeah.
Do you hear the little noise
Uh-huh.
that they make when you drop the cubes in there?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Don't get neurotic about it.
Mic that up.
Oh, there's so many
Mic up the
things
cubes.
there's so many things we can mic up. Crickets at night, There's just so many things. When the cicadas.
Yeah, that's the word.
When the
They go
cicadas.
nuts. Oh my
Right.
God, they were so loud last night. And then the
You
lightning
have
bugs.
cicadas? No.
Everybody does.
No.
A few.